Recently, we have started having the key presentation before our council meeting, allowing the students to get in and get their little gift and pictures taken and get out of here and spare y'all from having to sit and listen to a boring council meeting. So anyway, we hope everybody had a good Christmas and New Year. We appreciate y'all coming tonight. So we're very proud of our school system, the parents, the students, the faculty, and everyone. So hopefully with this traffic jams going on outside tonight, which we was not expecting, we've kind of given it a minute or two to let some of them that may be trying to get in and get parked out there. So I know a couple just walked in. So if someone does come in, we can certainly, no bigger than the crowd is tonight, return and get back to that. So once again, we'd like to welcome you here. We do the presentations. We start with the kindergartners and we go up, and then we kind of take a few minutes to talk to everybody, the students, and see if anybody wants any pictures made. We're in no big hurry, and then we'll give you all a couple of minutes to get out of here, and then we will reconvene in our regular council meeting a few minutes after that. Again, thank y'all for coming tonight, and I think we've got a couple of people from the school that's going to help me make sure I don't mess up anything. So thank y'all for coming, and so if y'all want to slide your chair back, I'll move forward and we'll get going. This new sound system is a little bit tricky, so if you see us get close, we don't think you might be able to hear us, and if we get too close, sometimes it sounds like we're blasting you out. So I apologize. We're still trying to get the bugs worked out of it. Okay, the way we'll do it is I'll call the name, and then the student will come up, and I will hand them the award, and hopefully they'll turn around and let you take a picture of them. Sometimes we have challenges with especially our younger ones. Then you'll come on by, and the clerk here has a little gift, and walk on around so the council members can kind of shake hands with you. You'll come down the other side here, and like I said, we're in no hurry, so we will get going. Kindergarten, Cohen Baasi. Cohen, hey buddy, come on up. Congratulations, big man. Turn around there and let mom get. I'm gonna turn around to her. Turn it up around this way so she can see it. There we go. Good job. Right on by here. She can show you where to go.
Keep going right through here.
Hey, thanks, Cohen. That's right. Okay, next is Sawyer Dew. Sawyer? Hey, Sawyer. Congratulations, big man. Turn around there and let mom take a picture of it. There you go. Congratulations.
You're fine. Just keep going right there.
Okay, next, Braden Boshell. Braden, hey, buddy. Congratulations, big man. Turn around and let mom get a picture of it.
Keep going right through there.
Okay, next, Brooklyn White. Brooklyn. Oh, Miss Brooklyn, turn around there, let mom get a picture of it. Hold her now. Okay, next, Morgan Nail. Morgan? Congratulations, big man. There you go. Let me hold this right here. Oliver Williams. Oliver? Congratulations, big man. Turn around there.
Turn around and get your picture too.
Well, you don't have to. You want to come up here and go, or you want to take this and go back to your seat? How about that?
There you go.
We'll get one in the middle. Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
Good job, buddy.
Okay. Roman Huggins. Roman? Congratulations, Roman. Okay, Susie Singleton. Susie? Congratulations, Miss Susie. Okay, Aubrey Daniels. Aubrey? Turn around now. Let me get a picture. Okay, Jenna Green. Jenna? Hey. Congratulations, Miss Jenna. Turn around now. Uh-oh. Okay, well, our last one tonight is Jeannie Williamson. Jeannie? Okay, council, y'all have any comments or anything? Well, on behalf of the council, I would like to say congratulations to all the recipients tonight. We hope to see y'all all again. We do appreciate it. You coming tonight, y'all are welcome to stick around a few minutes. We'll reconvene at 6:30 for our regular meeting. But other than that, y'all have a good, safe night. Thank you for coming. Good evening. I'd like to call the Satsuma City Council to order for our regular meeting, the first meeting of the year for 2025. So as always, after calling our meetings to order, we go to the invocation. And the invocation tonight, Mr. Butler, who is under the weather and unable to attend tonight, in his absence, I will say the invocation and followed by the pledge. So if you don't mind, just momentarily, we're going to ask that you stand, remove your hats, and please either turn your phones to off or silent while we do this. Please stand. Dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you bless us here tonight. We ask that you help us conduct and address the business and the needs of our community. We ask that you work with us, help us to address our problems, to watch over our citizens, to help those who are in a time of need. Also be with those that's lost loved ones through the holidays. We ask that you watch over all of our city employees and our citizens. It's this and all things that we pray in your precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you would give us a roll call, Jessica, please.
Councilmember Little,
Present.
Councilmember Butler, Councilmember Skelton,
Present.
Councilmember Reese,
Present.
Councilmember Phillips.
Here.
Mayor Barlow.
Here. Please let the record reflect all the elected officials, with the exception of Mr. Butler, are in attendance. Also yourself, the attorney, and the various department heads that are here. In our packet of information, you should have received an agenda for tonight. So it's the first page of the booklet tonight. So if y'all have had a chance to look over the agenda, I would ask that is there any corrections, deletions, or anything you'd like to change, or can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Reese and seconded by Mr. Skelton to approve the agenda as distributed. All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. The next thing is the approval of the minutes from our past meeting, which was held here on Tuesday, December the 17th, 2024. The minutes are the second part of the booklet tonight. I read over them a couple weeks ago, whenever the meeting was. Appeared to be pretty well in order and accurate, but if there were any deletions, additions, corrections that any of you have, let me
Make a
know.
motion to approve the minutes from our regular meeting on December 17th of '24.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Little, seconded again by Mr. Skelton to approve the minutes as distributed. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right, we got the minutes. Some of you were here prior to the meeting starting tonight. Recognitions portion, we've kind of moved this to before the council meeting. So we had several key students that will receive the Key Student Award tonight. We had that at 6 o'clock, so they left just prior to the council meeting. So that was nice, as always, to have the students attend. 7, moving on, is visitors. We have 2 people on the agenda tonight. The first one is Mr. Bob Williams to discuss a stop sign at the intersection of Phillips Drive and Chattanooga. Mr. Williams, please come on up.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Come before you, just a concerned citizen,
Thank you, sir.
and,
Thank you. I can share with Bubba if we need to.
I live in Pennsylvania Station.
Yes, sir.
First house on the right.
Yes, sir.
There's 33 of us in there now. And, multiple families with
especially in the morning and afternoon, you got buses, you got kids. And that intersection, three-way intersection there, it's only got one stop sign, and it's on the cul-de-sac, where there's only 4 houses. The other end of Chattanooga, when they're coming down, there's 27 houses, and they're coming out, and they don't stop coming on the WT. They just make that loop, make the curve. Then you got people coming in that are turning on Chattanooga to the left. And I see multiple times where we just almost had a wreck. I know my mailbox has been taken out once, and the neighbors at another time. To me, we got kids right around there, and it's just an accident waiting to happen. And I just wanted to maybe see if y'all would consider doing something, maybe some stop signs there where we don't have it.
Okay.
That was my main concern.
That doesn't sound like a big request there. Troy, could we get you to look into that and see, because there's some cul-de-sacs in there. Does cul-de-sacs have stop signs before they go?
All the cul-de-sacs have stop signs. We got 3 side streets in there.
Right.
All of them have stop signs. It's just the main intersection is where they're missing.
Okay. Let's, if you would, make sure the ordinance has all of those that are listed. And if you would, write us something up and let's put it on the agenda for the next council meeting. And it doesn't seem to me, unless anybody has some objection, I don't know, that just write it up. We got to, create the ordinance and make sure that it's, so it takes us a little bit of time and to get the sign ordered and all, and get the stop bar, if we need to, painted for the street there and all. So if we can have that, let us look into it and get it on order, and we'll put it on the agenda for the next council meeting 2 weeks from tonight, and hopefully we'll pass it and have it taken care of.
One quick question. How far is what's the distance from the entrance to Chattanooga roughly?
It's probably
I can give you roughly, it's about
300-400 feet.
Okay, that's what I was,
just a little over 300 feet.
okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Marcia Williams, Foxwell. I have a question.
Sure.
Pertains to our neighborhood. Recently, our W.T. Phillips sign went missing, and it's been replaced with just T. Phillips. It's causing confusion, I think. Is there a reason why it's not W.T. Phillips anymore, but just T. Phillips?
Can we give you an answer
It's a
on to that? Because I
On the
didn't
map.
know that it didn't have W.T. Phillips on it.
On our maps.
Chris, can you look into that and let us know, and we'll try to have that answered at the next meeting also. So y'all are welcome to come 2 weeks from tonight, and hopefully we can have both of these matters addressed at that time. Sure. Okay, next is Dylan Burton, regarding annexation of property. Hey, Dylan, how you doing? Come on up, buddy. If you, just for our record, we ask that you step up and, in case there are any questions from the council, but if you would just, and of course I know you are, but state your name and your address over there.
My name is Dylan Burton. There's not a current address right now, not until I can be given one.
Well, he's on the I-65 service road. It's just past the last annexation of property we had there, just past Boyd's Lane. Y'all familiar there on the right going north. Okay? So you'd just like to request to bring, it's approximately a 10-acre parcel, I think?
Yes, sir.
You'd like to annex into the city. Okay. I think so all we need to do is just get the paperwork in order, and the clerk can help you, and if there's any legal matters regarding that, we have our attorney, Mr. Miners, over there, and we can set it for annexation. Jay, what all we need to
Just need to fill out that form, get to locate, do the other landowners, give them notice, set it for public hearing, and
Yep.
Approve it after that. And you're contiguous to
Yes, he is.
property owned
Yes.
that touches the city? Should
You
be.
joined Mr. Crane's property, correct?
Yes, sir.
I thought so.
Mr. Eric's.
Yeah, we'd like to see them. Y'all, those two guys have built some nice houses back there, real pretty area back there, so. All right, well, good luck, and let us know, and we'll try to have that at the next meeting, certainly by the first meeting of February, taken care of. All right, thanks you. Yes, sir.
Do you want to set the public hearing for the next meeting?
Yes, you wanna go, when you make a motion to post that for a public hearing at the next?
You got-
We gotta
you
do
got what
30
you-
days. Yep.
He's got everything, and Jay's already got it.
We got,
All we got needs an ordinance. I sent you everything over, didn't I?
Yeah, but, wasn't sure we were gonna do it, so I didn't try to draft the ordinance.
Yeah.
But I can you said for the next meeting.
Mm-hmm, next meeting.
To be the
well,
the first one in
to post-
February.
Yeah, it'd be the
We
first
gotta,
meeting in
I don't
February.
remember the days that we have to post it, but
I
you
think
do
it's
have to
15,
post it.
isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 15 days.
I think that's right, but I don't remember it off the
To
top
do
of
the-
my head.
Yeah, so it'd be the first meeting of February.
February
we-
4th,
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
sir, that's,
6, well, that'd be key student night too, though, wouldn't it? So we can do it right after that, do it at
yeah, we could do,
6:15?
yeah, 6:20. It shouldn't take but a minute.
Yeah, it shouldn't
There's
take
been-
very long.
Gonna be a formality.
Yeah, there's been no,
Set it at 6:20.
be good,
That'll work.
on February 4th. I don't, a motion made by Mr. Skelton, and I think it was gonna be seconded by Mr. Little. We'll post the property for public hearing, to be held at 6:20 on February the 4th, prior to the next council meeting. Just a formality we have to go through, and that allows time in case there's any delay in getting anything done. We should be in order and have you in and out of here pretty quick that night. Okay, that's the only two that was on the agenda for tonight. Is there anyone else that would like to come before the council tonight with any questions or concerns? Yes, sir. Please come on up and state your name.
My name is Chris Simmons. I live on 5452 Barber Drive,
Thank you,
there in
Mr.
Old Dunnigan Estates.
Yes, sir.
And I've asked some questions about water and stuff like that because, well, first off, my sister, she's 47, and her birthday's in a month, and she won't make it to 48. She's probably gonna be gone by the end. She's got pancreatic cancer. She's one of 8 out of the 11 houses on my street of people that died of pancreatic cancer. And I don't think that's an accident. That 1.5% of the population gets pancreatic cancer, and I got 8 out of the 11 houses on my street got it. So it's either environmental or, it's gotta be environmental, because it's not coming from, the genes. And, I don't know what could be done about it. I know the land used to be owned by, Mr. Dunnigan used to be a truck driver, and he buried stuff out there. I know, I've heard that from other people. I don't know how to test the dirt out there. I don't know who I'd get a hold of ADM, how I would get a hold of ADM, what I would do, but something's going on down there. Like I said, everybody that's been there for 20 or 30 years ends up dying of pancreatic cancer or prostate cancer. My neighbor had kidney cancer. It just goes on and on and on. And this is my mama's heating elements and a 1.5-year-old water heater. And this happens every 2 years, every 1.5 to 2 years from the water on our street. Now, it don't happen to my brother-in-law who lives at the front of my neighborhood. It just happens on my street. So I don't know what in the water is making me have to change out elements and eating them up. This is the top one, and this is the bottom one. Like I said, I replaced our water heater 1 year and 8 months ago, and look at that. It's just junk. It's eat all up inside of it. So, and I've asked questions, but I don't know who to ask the questions to. Like I said, I don't know if it's just that we're at the end of a leg and we're getting everything at the end of that leg on that water, or if it's just the pipes or what it is that's ruining our hot water heaters. And I don't know if that's got anything to do with people getting cancer. I ain't got no idea. I don't think, like I said, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying there's got to be some kind of way we could figure that out while we're getting so much junk down there at the end of our street on the water, because I don't think other people are getting this much problems out of Satsuma's water. If we did, I'd hear about it, you know what I mean? Not that. That's kind of crazy. And I'm about to have to replace mine also. And I've had a new hot water heater within the last 4 years and replaced both elements in it last year. So, and I don't know what the deal is. Like I said, I would have said something earlier, but I didn't think it was that bad. I thought maybe my mom's water heater, and then my dad passed away in 2020, so I didn't know he had replaced them a couple years prior to that. So it's an ongoing issue. That, like I said, I don't know if it's just we're at the end of the water line, because I know other people in the neighborhood hadn't had that problem. And I know with the cancer thing, like I said, with the exception of maybe one house or 2 houses on my street, everybody on that street's had some kind of cancer, or died of some kind of cancer, prostate, kidney, liver, but most of them pancreatic cancer, which is very strange. And the only reason I don't know about the rest of the neighborhood is because most of those people were gone or moved out, didn't stay very long, or a lot of them died, and I don't know what they died of, because I don't know any relatives or, you know, anything like that, but I imagine if I'd done a little digging, it'd be some more people in that neighborhood died of cancer, and that's just a unbelievable rate for it to be accidental, you know what I mean? Like my family, the PFOSs they've mentioned in the water, like my family, we've all got hepatic problems. We've all showed, either, anemic at certain times. And me and my wife aren't, related, obviously, so it's not a blood thing. From my kids, one of my kids got PCOS, one of my kids got restless limb. It's got to do with your liver and your pancreas. So, it comes from water or something to do with the land around you. So, and that's pretty much the whole neighborhood. People's got problems like that, and nobody's ever got together and talked about it, because we always thought it was, you know, you don't think about it. Over 30 years, people dying, and you don't realize. I started asking questions. So, what old man so-and-so died of? Oh, he pancreatic cancer. What about him? Pancreatic cancer. And I started going, wait a minute, you know, this is weird. And then the water lines, like I said, it's a little crazy to me. The water lines do this, but I don't think it's a Satsuma water thing, because it's not happening anywhere else. It's got to be on that last leg of our neighborhood for some reason, because like I said, my brother-in-law and 2 other people I know that live in the front of the neighborhood never had a problem. They don't see anything out of their water. They don't see anything in their hot water heaters. So if y'all could just find out a way to check that for me.
First, Chris, I'm very sorry about your sister. I know, you know, she's certainly had a battle, and so I'm sorry about that. There are 2 of the members here on the council that are also on the water board. We have a water board meeting Monday night. You're welcome to come at 5:30 next door, but we can discuss this further over there, because we really do more of the discussion of the water and all over there. I do know that we have recently just tested some water over there for some other things in the Baker Road area, and everything was good, so.
Like I said, the only problems we have, only people I know that have problems are on my leg right there, that one street. So I'm thinking it's got to be something to do with that, because it's in front of the neighborhood and they're talking to anybody. Otherwise, I wouldn't, if there's any way y'all could check into getting with ADM and find out if we can get a soil sample around there, that many people getting cancer. I don't know how to do that, so.
Right, I feel like, I mean, it's just my thoughts. Jason actually works in the water industry, but maybe testing the water and seeing if we can do some type of soil testing over there. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, this is the first time
Yeah.
anybody's mentioned it.
This
Yeah,
is,
like I said, because I didn't know, I've just heard all this in the last couple of years, that the man that owned the land before us was a truck driver, and there's been some spots, and I know Neil Pipkin's yard and somebody else's yard over the years just fell in, and they say it was because he buried barrels down there, and then the barrels would crush under the weight of the dirt. I don't know if this is true or not, but I know the man did have a trucking company, and he had that land for a lot of years, and there's no telling what's on it, you know what I mean? And I don't know any way of getting a hold of anybody to take soil samples there. I thought maybe y'all could inquire about it or something.
yeah, that definitely have to start with an ADM conversation there on the soil side of things. But, you know, as for the water, I mean, we could, you know, they could take samples out of the hydrant down there at the end.
You could actually
for
come to your
close.
house and take them out of the faucets. right
Take it out of the
Yeah,
faucet.
that'd be great.
You know, first thing that pops to my mind with the heating element like you're talking about there would be, is any of the other faucets in the house acting up?
Faucets?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I mean, not.
Does your water heater have the metal rod in it? There's a rod that's in them water heaters they're there for the chemicals to attack, to keep things like that from happening.
I mean,
So I'm just wondering, could it be possible that rod's not there and it's attacking your heating elements?
I don't know, it's a brand new water heater, so is
Yeah,
my
that's
other
the reason
one.
I was wondering.
Yeah, so is my other one. The one that my mom got before, they're all different, you know, the one before wasn't a ream, it wasn't a dual, it was a single, an older one. But we have the same problems out of all of them. I don't know, I hadn't talked to the other neighbor on the other side of me about it, but, I'm sure they've had some problems as well. But like I said, it seems isolated, because I know people on the other side of the neighborhood never had one issue, ever. So it's gotta either do something with the piping or the end of the leg where everything's settling down there or something. Because I know it doesn't run on a loop, it's not like it's going back, you know. But I know it's a water board issue, but like I said, if somebody could figure out something with ADM, it would be great, or somebody could take soil samples for me.
I know, Mr. Dunnigan, if I'm not mistaken, talking about up on the front end of the property. I think that's actually where his shop and all, area was up on that end now.
Yeah.
I don't know about it getting,
Yeah, we live in the back bottom corner, so everything drains to us. The whole
Right.
neighborhood drains down there. And that's what I was worried about. I was sitting there thinking, why we having so many problems on this one street, and the whole neighborhood, everything runs that back street.
Right.
With, like I said, the exception of one house, Neil and Dottie Pipkin, who I think have foreseen this and pickled their liver for 30 years, so they don't have no problems. But, besides them, everybody else has had some kind of issues. They seem to be, yeah. They
I guess
foresee
starting
problems.
point, we can go start the testing process. It may take us a few days to
Yeah.
get that going, but, like I said, not in your neighborhood, but just up from it, I know we tested the water within the last month and got some good
Yeah,
reports
like I said,
there.
I don't think it's, I don't think it's a Satsuma problem. I think it's just that area that, for some reason, the piping, or, I don't know what's going on. I don't have any, the only thing I can imagine is everything's running down there and stopping, and maybe it's dropping sediment in that one place. But, besides that, like I said, if y'all could do something, figure out some, soil testing around there, I'm gonna keep poking around and try to figure something out.
Right,
for
and
you.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I remember Miss Dunnigan, she'd already retired. She was subbing a little bit, and I remember when they built the house they're in now, but, Lord, we talking, that's been,
70s, yeah, it was
early 70s there.
Yeah.
It was mid to late, I think, when they built the last house in there. And that was most of all of them, except the front ones where, Beasley and them lived in the top corner there. I think that was one of the last ones built in like 80 or something. But all those original people who
Beasley
lived
and
there,
Claire.
I know.
And all that.
I
they
know
died in the 90s.
I built my home on the corner there of Joseph and 85,
Mm-hmm.
right there on the corner.
Yep, well, like Mr. Butts, he died, he was in his
Right.
90s. Mr. House, he was in his 90s.
Yeah,
He died of
right.
prostate cancer. His wife died of pancreatic cancer. And, and I started thinking about it, just because they were older, it was all 20 years after they'd been there. 20, 25 years after they'd been there, all these people died of cancer. So it's just very strange. Thought I would let y'all know, and I appreciate the
All right, well,
time.
Thank
we
you.
can help you with that other matter. Let us know, so,
Yeah, thank you
with
very
Wendy.
much.
All right. Okay, is anyone else would like to come before the council tonight? Okay, well, we got several people attending, for the first time. Appreciate y'all coming. Moving on to number 8, which is reports, announcements from the mayor and council. We'll start tonight with just a few reports. So I would like to express our sympathies to several families here in our community that have lost loved ones here in the last couple of weeks. The Dahl family, Mr. Jimmy Deaton passed away. I think his service was yesterday. The Payne family, Luker family, Miss Callan's brother, who was a former resident from long ago, Roy, passed away. I think his service was a couple days after Christmas, if I remember right. So we're very sorry you had to deal with that, Miss Callan. The Christmas holidays went fairly smooth around the city. Really appreciate all the employees and what they did, the work they did, putting everything up and having the city looking nice. At our last workshop, and then we followed up with the last meeting on several projects that the council all agreed to move forward on. So just kind of giving y'all an update since our last meeting. The press boxes at Lions Park, which had been requested to be taken down for quite some time, we took them down. The city employees did that, have removed those. The fencing on the C and D fields that we've been talking about replacing at Wright Park, Mr. Tarver removed all the fencing and has got all the poles set, and I think he actually got some of the fencing up on one of the fields today. So, and it should have that finished in the next few days. Troy, I understand that you've placed the order already for your building at the pistol and rifle range over there? that y'all need?
12 days to 2 weeks is usually the turnaround time.
So we should have that by the end of the month anyway. Okay, and then we're going to work with the electrician about hooking that up to the power, and also hopefully we'll have some good news on that by the first meeting of February. The library, you know, they have been complaining quite some time about the flickering of lights and not being able to have, use all the receptacles and all, and using the day that they're going to be closed on January the 20th. I think that Sunday, Monday, Smith Electric is looking at doing that upgrade to the electrical panel on those days while they're closed. Also going to let you know that we are scheduled for the next meeting for the audit. So Aaron with Wilkins Miller is scheduled to be here 2 weeks from tonight to present the audit, so we can see how that's going. If there are any questions on anything, please let me know. If not, we'll move on to public services and let Mr. Little start.
Okay, over in the inspection department, we've got 14 new permits that we got in. We have 46 building and trade inspections. We've worked 4 nuisance complaints. We have 73 active permits, 8 new homes being built, and there was a total of 307 permits in 2024 and 556 inspections in 2024 for the building department. Over in the sanitation department, I do want to say that we do have, the new garbage truck is out at Mac for some repairs, and I know we did get a few complaints about that, but hopefully everybody got theirs picked up in a, you know, timely manner. We've got our number 8 garbage truck. We replaced an air dryer in it. So we've just had a few, you know, little issues, but hopefully we working through those. Also, over in the senior department, the bus, we took 15 medical trips. We had just a couple of social trips. And then our van, we had 15 medical trips, 10 social trips, and 2 others. So we had 27 total there for the white van. Also, the Meals on Wheels in December, we have 41 clients that we serve, and that was 656 meals that we delivered, which is always good when we can do that. So I think that's all I had wrote down.
Okay.
Thanks, Mayor.
Sure. Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Little. Mr. Butler is out tonight, so I was going to give I'll give the police statistics. I think Mr. Skelton's got the fire report there. From the police department, it said they responded to 570 calls last month. There were 8 felony cases, and 5 felony arrests. We had 25 misdemeanor arrests, 10 traffic accidents. We've seen a little increase in our accidents here recently. 59 traffic citations were issued, along with 79 warning citations, 2 municipal ordinance violations, and so that's what the police department had going on in the month of December. Thank you. So that's it. Moving on, Mr. Skelton.
So the fire department calls for December of '24 had 88 calls for service. 70 of those were EMS calls, and 2 fire-related calls, 1 structure fire, 2 vehicle accidents, and 12 other calls, which include citizen assist type calls, 1 hazmat incident, and That was it for the fire department.
Yeah, that one structure fire was a good job by our guys and the assistance we received from Saraland, so
That's right.
that was very good. All right, moving on to administrative. You got anything tonight for?
No, sir, I do not have anything tonight.
All right, moving to Parks and Recreation, Ms. Reese.
Yes, sir. Mr. McCann prepared a memo with some highlights of the things they've been doing in the Parks Department over the last month. Obviously, we know it's holiday season, so there was a lot of Christmas decorations and preparations for dinners and the reindeer run and the market that was at Baldwin Square. So thanks to them for all of that and making everything look good. And I know they're winding it down because I saw them taking down the nativity scene this morning. So we appreciate all that you do. And it does look good where the press boxes came down. So that'll be less of an eyesore and definitely a safer area for the kids. And probably best seat in the house if we can get some bleachers behind those, the backstops back there. Also, they just were taking care of the Union Chapel, the community garden, disc golf course, the lodge, and then the ballparks. Also, it looks like they're doing work at the cemetery, as always, blowing off the monuments and grave sites. So appreciate all that you guys do. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Reese. Moving to Public Works, Mr. Phillips.
Mayor of the Public Works Department, during the past few weeks, they've cut grass throughout the city, trash ramps, community garden. We repaired drainage and sinkholes on Pine and Riles, cleaned sidewalks, edged them, weeded them, blew them off. They've done a temporary repair to the roadway on South Oak 2 with two loads of limestone. Weeded throughout the city, done the big ditch right there at Rice Park and Orange. County grader also graded the South Service Road on 12/20/24. Then we had all that rain, so it's kind of hard to tell we graded it. Picked up trash and limbs throughout the city. Then in the process of removing all the Christmas decorations throughout the city. Picked up limbs throughout Bonds and purchased 3 loads of B-base from Sullivan's. 2 loads went to South Oak and 1 load for emergency use by the Public Works. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. We've gone through all the council positions now. We can move to items for discussion and/or consideration. A is payment of the bills.
I make a motion, we pay the bills in the amount of $96,233.42.
Second.
There was a motion made by Mr. Skelton and seconded by Mr. Little to pay the bills in the amount of $96,233.42. Is there any questions? All those in favor of payment, signify by aye.
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 Those opposed? B, discussion and consideration of accepting the resignation of Larry Scruggs, police officer, in good standing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Ms. Reese, to accept the resignation of Officer Scruggs in good standing. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Moving to C, discussion and/or consideration of accepting the resignation of Jerry Miller, firefighter, in good standing.
So moved.
Second.
Once again, a motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Ms. Reese, to accept the resignation of firefighter Miller in good standing. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. D is discussion and consideration of Brittany Allen and Morgan Waller to attend the Alabama Judicial College to be held on May the 1st and the 2nd of 2025. Approximate cost $480 to be paid for out of court account.
So moved.
Second.
Once again, a motion was made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Ms. Reese to approve the two named employees attending the judicial school. Any questions? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
E has been on the council agenda and a couple of workshop items that we've had, and that is discussion of adding insurance premiums to be paid by the city for the mayor and council members and revise ordinance 562. There should have been some information emailed to the council, and we've got some stuff here. And if there's a change or anything, I think we have to bring that up. It has to be voted on if there's any change to be made. All right, the floor is open for comments on.
Mayor, the way I understand it, looking at all this paperwork you give me, is we had to vote on what we want to do for this next 4 years. Is that right?
There's the attorney, that's who wrote it up.
Yeah.
Part of the package that we did for the, the salaries.
Yeah.
for next- And you gotta amend that too. If you wanna change it, you gotta amend it. And as I read the statutes, you have the authority to offer it where the elected officials can just be part of the group policy and pay their own way. You could pay partial, or you could pay the same thing that the city employees get, and whatever that split is. But it needs to be part of the package that you want to offer for the next council.
Right, and, but like I said, we have to do something, or you won't be able to get the insurance period if we don't vote on something, correct?
No, it's already in the ordinance now. Anybody can pay for it, it's in the current ordinance.
Paperwork I was looking through was
That was the new
Tom
stuff.
Williams and them did not vote on that in their ordinance, so we.
You don't change the ordinance, you don't have to put a new one up. They kept the salaries the same, and 2016 was the last time y'all changed the salaries.
It's when Paul Murray did it.
I didn't think this, I thought it showed back like 2008, there was no change. 16 was, the
About
wording
six.
changed, but the salary didn't change. Unless I'm,
Salary was the same in 16.
yeah.
The only, as I recall, the only thing that changed was we as council members had to either go and pay our own way or show where we had credible coverage from our employer. And that was the two options back in 2016. And then when 2020 came, that was the same thing we did. I had to provide a letter from my employer saying that I had credible coverage and didn't need the city insurance.
Okay.
But like, in my opinion, like I say, this is getting kind of confusing. I'd like to see it where the mayor and council is allowed to have insurance just like the city employees for the same amount of money. It's what I'd like to see happen.
I guess my question is, are you asking for the city to pay for it? As when you say,
I'm asking them to pay their part just like all the rest of the employees.
right,
You know, the employee pays a certain amount, the city pays a certain, and I don't know what that amount is.
I think I put it in, see if you have this in your,
I don't have that. Oh, in this package
yes,
here?
in your packet. On those bottom lines down there, it shows the 85% that the city would pay, and then the employee portion is the 15.
How often is that a monthly?
That's monthly, yes.
Okay.
And that would just be single coverage, same as probably what you give a retired employees get. If they want a family coverage, then they have to pay the rest of it out of pocket.
So you'd only be looking at the first three. A single premium.
On the bottom line.
this is gonna get really confusing when it comes time for y'all to do W-2s. Because W-2, you have, the insurance portion shows up on the W-2. So if, I'm just gonna use me and Randy, for example. So if I don't take it, or whoever's in place 3 next year don't take it, they're gonna get the base salary for that spot. Whoever's in place 1 next year accepts the insurance, they're gonna get that plus the city portion and paid on top of that.
Yes, so
It's gonna be reflected on their W-2.
a council member's salary will be right close to what the mayor's would be after you add in the insurance. And you would have to reflect it on the ordinance. You would have to state it some way. That's why some of the bigger cities, they only give it to the mayor because his salary's different anyway. But I mean, you can vote on it however, but it is gonna be an increase for whoever takes it. And less for who doesn't.
And some of the cities just offer, they paid a random amount, like $200 toward to the elected officials' insurance, as opposed to paying, and you could do that if you wanted to. Or half of it, or, if you wanted to not do it, since you weren't full-time employees, but it's really up to y'all's discretion of how you want to fashion it.
You're saying, I saw a couple like that, where everybody gets a $200 or,
We've seen it all over the board. We tried to look at it. We found some cities like do what we do, nothing toward it. Some cities do, like you said, a little bit. Some do percentages. And I just said, just put it to the council. I don't care what me. I don't think we need to pay, I can tell you this, what an employee does, because we're not full-time. But I mean, if it's,
Seems like the increase in the, salary, the monthly salary would cover,
that's fair. I agree with that too.
what, well, almost cover it.
We can kick the can down the road, but we'll only do it like 2 more council meetings, and we have to make a decision, because if I'm not mistaken, in February, we have to finalize any changes or things that we want to make regarding the next upcoming.
Like I said, this don't affect me even if it's going to the next administration, because, I'm past the age where I had to get insurance from the government. It was just an idea to try to entice younger people, to run for office, because, I mean, that's a nice benefit right there. But, I mean, if you want the council and the mayor to pay the 100%, that's fine, 85, I mean, we just got to decide what we want and vote on it.
Well, as it is now, I think I'm the only one that actually has it taken out. But as I guess the way it's wrote now, the amount, I mean, I pay back the 100% back to the city. I don't know how that verbiage, if you want to change it to do something different, but I mean, that's the way, it's done now, as far as from what I understand.
That's how it's done now.
That's right, as it is now. So if we're making any changes, we just got to say what it is and what we want to do.
What if you switched the responsibilities, like the city could pay 15% and the employee would pay 85, since we aren't full-time? Because, I mean, do we give benefits to part-time employees? What does that look like?
Same as the paper, same as your paper,
They
85 and
get
15.
They get the full amount.
It's
even
the
though they're
same amount.
part-time.
And what's part-time, is that a certain amount of hours, or
36 usually.
they have to achieve 36 hours?
And I don't want to keep putting it off, but if we have to, if y'all'd like to think about it, look over it, try to talk with some of the other cities or have a chance to review what we put together. But I'd like to at least see it, taken care of at the next meeting. We don't just need to, I don't want to be in here at the 11th hour in February trying to make any changes. There don't really seem to be a big dispute. I mean, if we're just looking at a small amount to contribute where they can get it. But I mean, I certainly don't think elected officials need to be entitled to the same thing as full-time.
No, I think they ought to be entitled to the same as part-time, which is the same.
Basically, our options are this, or we decide of
Or much
Yeah,
whatever you want.
Well, like Jay said, I mean, there's everything
Whatever
it
you
allows
like,
us,
right.
anything, we
Yeah,
won't
we
give.
just fashion it the way we want to. And some cities have, they gave the council $200 toward, the city paid $200 toward the cost of their insurance. But that's a random number that city picked. You could do half of it. You could do 1%. We'll pay 50% of the premium. Or you could pay, like the cities, where the employee pays 15% and the city pays the 85.
Yeah, but then all the inquiring minds on YouTube want to know what's going to happen when the person doesn't take the insurance. If you do the stipend route, let's say we agree to $300. Does the person get $300, or is that just for people that?
No, it'd just be paid towards the
Well, I think you
insurance.
could do it that way.
Yes.
If you wanted to. You could do it
That's
where
gonna be
you
the question
pay
that comes
the
up.
flat rate, because that's really a function of pay. You could do it in the form of, we're gonna give you an allowance towards insurance, should you choose to use it, of $300.
Right.
And then everybody would get the same rate that way, and they could put it on the insurance or not. But like, if this council member doesn't take it and the other one does, yeah, he makes more money, but that's true in the private business today too. Most companies, they offer insurance that's available to you if you
Yeah.
want it. But if you choose not to take it, you just don't make as much money, because it's a benefit you chose not to take.
But you had that option.
You had the option.
Yeah, you don't get to pay if you don't take it.
Okay, just for the sake of time tonight, can we just
Talk about it next.
table
Yeah,
this
and do it
until the
till-
next meeting, and then, but we really need to address it. Is that okay with all parties?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay. That was E, and this is tabled, and we'll put it on the agenda for the next week. If anybody has any questions, please make sure we make available everything we've found. Okay. F is discussion of our cat and dog ordinance. Jay done some work on it, so I will let him take it from here. And once again, we got some animal control ordinances in cities that are like ours, that are not very long in detail, and we got some that you can find that are really long and hard. Hopefully y'all have had a chance to look over some of it and see what you think. There's also some state law regarding the mistreatment of animals, I think, that is already in place also. And we just really need to know the thoughts of the council, because this is an ordinance and will require a vote for any change or amendments or anything that's made to it.
The options that I saw, we currently have a cruelty to animal ordinance that gives some discretion on cruelty of animal, and the officer makes a discretionary charge on it. Chief Wilcutt said that there are some state parameters out there that say, take some of that discretion away, or maybe that what they could find on that. But we have an existing ordinance that has, I sent a copy of it, that has a fine on it that you could file a claim on. I know the issue was tethering of animals without proper shelter. I think you could make that argument. One of the cities we found was Gadsden. They just say they include as cruelty to animal if you tether an animal, period. Now, I personally think that would be subject to attack, and it's kind of too vague and too harsh, and it may not hold up. One of the other cities that I found, Gadsden has one that's a little more defined as to what cruelty is, and it defines what shelters you have to provide, and it doesn't include tethering as a shelter, but, you know, it's got a lot more to it than what we have. It's just depending on how harsh y'all want to address that. But it's hard to just say somebody can't tether their pet, period, and have that enforceable, in my view. You could pass it, and if they challenge it, then, you know, you got to fight that in court and spend money on it. Or you could do something that maybe is more defined, or I think you have something that's enforceable as is if you don't want to do anything extra.
I just don't think it's strict enough, Jay.
That's up to y'all.
You know, and I hadn't seen it in our city, but I've seen in several locations in Mobile County where I'll go and look across the fence and I'll see 5 or 6 animals chained to chains with a 55-gallon drum sitting there. By ordinance, that meets your ordinance. You
Well,
know,
not if they're don't have the officer has a discretion, is it adequate
I
shelter?
personally think if you got a chain and dog, or put it on a rope, you don't really need to own him. I mean, that's just me. I'd like to see our ordinance more stricter to where it's not just the discretion of the officer. You know, they look at it and say, that's okay, and that's not okay. I mean, is it okay to have an animal chained out in the yard in July when it's 110 degrees? And to have a 55-gallon drum sitting there for him to go get in? That's what our ordinance reads, and it's, you know, it meets the ordinance.
Well, if the officer felt like that in that particular situation, it was cruel and unusual.
But if he didn't,
but
if he didn't, that's what I'm saying. I want it more plain to what you can and can't do. You know, and again, that's just me. You know, the other council members might have a different opinion.
Well, I would hope that if we are called on those type of situations, that the officers would make photographs of that, as we request that they do on anything that where there's damage or something that we want to store as evidence, so that when it's here, it can clearly be shown that if the temperature is 110 degrees in there in the sun, or if it's like tonight where it's so cold that it's obviously there, you know, so I don't know of us receiving any calls where we did not take action, but if we do receive that, I would hope that the report would indicate the temperature or the environment, so that would be something that you could testify to in court, where we can show that the dog was tied up outside in freezing cold with no way to get outside of the elements of the weather or something, and obviously a photograph of that at night or two would be.
They have to go by, it can be tethered so long as the tether is long enough that it doesn't have to, basically can get away from the species. It has to have a shelter with at least 3 sides and covered with roof, and it has to have access to food and water and be properly maintained. Talking to them after the last issue, they don't have a guideline on the temperature, that they do go around, make contact, and recommend that people bring them inside or put some kind of insulation on the ground and provide some kind of heat source. But according to them, that's the only thing they can do is make recommendations on that. Not necessarily.
But we are still writing a report on every single dog complaint that we receive, is that correct?
Yes, that's what they're supposed to do.
So you should be able to, we should be able to get that, so we can see exactly what, calls we're receiving and what actions we're taking. Wouldn't you think that would be the best answer?
I'd like to see our ordinance stronger. Like I say, that's just me. I mean, the council, I'm one of the council. They make the decision, what you want to do, if it's fine like it is. I personally don't understand why, because right now, it's not really enforced. You go by there, and if nobody's home, you leave them a note on the door, whatever. you know. It needs to have more bite to it.
I hope we're not just going and leaving a note on the door if we receive some complaint like that.
Discussed at the last one, we took action.
So, I mean, this takes the action of the whole council because it's an ordinance.
I
So
agree,
just-
Mayor,
just
like I
what-
said, that's just my opinion. I mean, get the other council members' opinion and move on, you know?
Any of the other
Arguing
council?
about it, I'm just
No,
giving you
I
the opinion
wasn't- I wasn't
want,
arguing.
how I feel about it.
No, I didn't take it as an argument at all. Does any of the other council members got any comments or thoughts on the?
In a perfect world, I mean, that'd be easy to rewrite, but I kinda go along with Jay. It's gonna be hard to, enforce, you know, unless you just put it in black and white. And then from there, I mean, where do you draw that line, you know? I just think we can do it, you know, a lot easier through our police if, I don't think it's a widespread problem, but I'm in agreement, you know, if there is cruelty there, something needs to be done.
I think all of us are in agreement there.
Yeah.
So there's no problem with strengthening or more strict enforcement of the ordinance, or else changing the wording of it.
One of the things, I kind of put the two extremes, the Dothan ordinance is very specific. You know, it's got provisions in it that, and it's designed to stop people that have dog fighting. And, you know, they're chaining up dogs that they're using to fight, and it has some divisions in that. It has a requirement of a house, very similar to what Chief Wilcutt said this county has, that you gotta have a house, you gotta have 3 sides, and defines that, and they have to have room to, probably the same language that they're using somewhere else. It has some provisions in there about you can't maintain facilities that would allow for dog fighting and things like that. It's very specific, and that's something we can do if y'all want to do that. Or I do think you have adequate protection. If it's enforced, you have a pretty good ordinance there. We adopted the state code on it. That's what we did. You could add to that, add a couple of depositions, extra requirements to that if you wanted to go above what the state law requires.
Troy, is there any recommendations you have from the police department or any thoughts you have on expanding our ordinance and/or adopting any of the others?
I'll do some more research on it myself and see.
We'll put that together and we will try to meet so we can have something for the next council meeting, any changes. We'll readdress this at either the next or the following meeting. Agreement on the council, F, discussion of consideration of the dog ordinance has been tabled and for us to do further investigation of the ordinance. Moving on to G. This was a mistake we made on scheduling the March meeting, and we wanted to go ahead and get this moved tonight because that does fall on a holiday this year. It fell on Mardi Gras, so the recommendation was to move it to the day before, which was a Monday, March the 3rd. But I told her before we actually come to the council tonight, because I think that will be also, want to make sure some of y'all did not have plans where you could not attend, so I wanted to.
You mean Lundy Gras?
As long as you got cake for my birthday, we're good.
I'm good with that.
I will not be here for Lundy Gras meeting.
Okay, well, that's,
Is that the Monday?
Mhm.
yeah, that's on the 3rd. All right, our options could be, move it to, see, we've been doing the Key Kids on that day, on the first one, and that's gonna mess that up too, because aren't they out of school that day? So there's not gonna be school that day. The Tuesday, we felt like it would really interfere with any of the citizens even trying to come, when we try to make sure that that's available. We don't, for church and other reasons, we don't usually do Wednesdays. We could, I guess, look at maybe having it on that Thursday but that would not be good, and,
Planning and.
then we're out of town. There's a couple of us already have the reservations made that we'll be gone the 9th, 10th, 11th. So you wouldn't have a quorum. There's no reason to schedule that meeting. Looks like the only thing we could do is either a Thursday, the 6th or the 13th. And then that would have the one meeting, and of course, the second meeting of March is the 18th. So the 20th is usually our dinner policy. That's our court date on the 20th It'll be hard to do that, so.
Really, I think your only option is gonna be probably be the 3rd, because 5th is gonna mess your other meetings up.
5th and the 6th, both, we already got scheduled meetings those days. We could do it on Monday the 3rd, but I don't like to do it whenever we know that, it's gonna be a hard time for any of the council members to make it, so we do try to. We could do it 6:30 on the 3rd, and, on that month, we just have to move the Key Kids to the second meeting, which would be the 18th. We did that on Monday, and we do Planning Board, Board of Adjustments the 6th, and the 7th and the 8th, or the 7th would be preparation. Is that gonna be Swamp Fest on the 8th?
No, it's the first one. They changed it to the first
I
one.
don't think I don't have it on this calendar.
I make the motion, we do it on the 3rd. 3rd of March.
Okay, Mr. Little's made a motion to move the March meeting to Monday, March the 3rd, 6:30 PM, obviously here at City Hall. It's fine with me, but I would need a council member to second that motion if y'all are in
Second.
agreement. Motion was made by Mr. Little, it was seconded by Ms. Reese. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Move to the 3rd at 6:30, so we'll please make proper notifications and posting of the change. We have gone through all of the business. Is there any other business to come before the council tonight before we adjourn? If there is no further business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second, we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for attending tonight.